Good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel. It's a Friday again, and we are having Ubuntu Sports on Ubuntu channel. Now, if you are joining us live, we are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter, and we are also live on YouTube. So, Ubuntu every Friday we come to talk about Ubuntu Sports, and today we'll be talking about women's football. And I've got a special guest who has specialized in women's football. Uh, Whenever all the bloggers, all the analysts are talking about men's football, he's gone and specialized and talks more about the women's football. I'm not alone this night. I'm joined by special guests, like I've told you, in Aaron Mubanga Jr. Good evening, Mr. Aaron. Welcome to Ubuntu channel.
Good evening, Reuben, and good evening to the people watching out there. It's a pleasure to be here. My first time on Ubuntu. Yeah, so let's see how this goes.
And I hope this is not the last time, Aaron.
We'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see.
Okay, Aaron. It's amazing. Everyone in Zambia talks about Zesco United, talks about the men's football, but you have gone and you are, I'm sure, one of the few bloggers in Zambia who talks about women's football. Uh, where did the passion come from?
Basically, it was just a thing that I watched a few games and I saw that there was a lot of potential in women's football, and it wasn't given as much attention as the men's were getting, even though the results were happening on the other side and not happening on the men's side. So I decided I always like to challenge myself. I always give myself targets. When I started my blogging journey, I think it was just post the 2012 AFCON win. Everybody was talking about Ford Carava, out Sambalongo was a Marvel and all that. Those were the happening players. But initially, I decided, okay, I'll go with youth football. And just I think after 3 years or so, 2, 3 years, I was promoting the under 20 that went to Kosafa, because that team, everybody remembers 2017. It actually started with winning the 2016 Kosafa in December. I remember Boyd Dimsond against Congo DR scoring a brilliant goal again against South Africa in the final. So and that's how everybody started talking about and then after that Patson went to Austria, Mwepson followed, and everybody fashion the World Cup, and everybody started following suit. So I thought, okay, so now these players are now becoming big. What's the next challenge? Looked at women's football, and then went on the bandwagon of women's football, and then I just thought, let me stick with this, and that's how I've remained there, because there's a lot of talent in women's football, but doesn't get the same attention that men's football gets. So I decided, let me stick with women's football, and I can say we've done a bit of publicity, and now the nation was discussing the omission of Rachel Kundananji from the squad. The whole nation now. I felt so proud. I felt so proud in that moment. But yeah, it's a good thing now.
All right. So, so far, are you happy with the publicity that you are doing? Are you getting the attention that you need in terms of women's football?
Not necessarily more could be done, but I think the fact that the whole nation was debating the squad, the entire, like the whole social media was just, why is this player not there? Why is this player not there? But some of the questions were funny, because it told you that there's a lot to do, because they were asking about some of the players who are injured, like Erin Mubango's been injured since November. Then I laughed, and the thing for me is, when you know like a lot in some area, and when people are asking, it feels like they are not being serious. But then you think about it, you're like, oh, they don't know because we haven't done enough to make sure they know this much. So I think there's a lot more to push. I won't sleep when everybody out there knows where Riando Foundation play their home games, where Baulen United Sports Academy play their homes, where Irene Bungu came from in Chuvoria, same place where Ruchomo came from, where Mississippi plays their games. until then, we still have a lot of work to do. But I think we have done massively. I think we have seen a lot of improvement, but more could be done. There's a lot more to be done in women's football.
All right. So are you getting the support from Football Association of Zambia concerning the publicity, or maybe you're just doing it because of your passion?
Whatever I do it because of passion. And it's funny, people feel like maybe there is something I get from the Football Association of Zambia. Not necessarily. Basically, the one thing I could thank the people that are in the media team for the Football Association of Zambia is that they make whatever I want to do very easy, because I collaborate with them most of the time. So if there's something that's coming up that they know I'm not sure of, they'll text me, oh, there's this that's coming up, and then we'll collaborate. And when I go maybe to a training session and they're not there, I'll call, there's this training session, any interview you want me to do for you here. So we work like that. So some people find me, I'm at Football Association of Zambia, and think, oh, maybe there's something is benefiting. And you've seen our football has been polarized with the Kamanga Karu, whatever comes. Yes, so people feel no, so he's a Kamanga person and whatnot. But basically, personally, I'm just in football for the players. I'm more for the players than anything else. And that's why I do what I do. For me, it's to make sure these people who play the game get the attention they deserve and get the rewards they deserve at the end of the day. So I was very happy to see the announcement of the allowances. Hopefully, they maintain the same thing going forward, and women's football benefits a lot. So yeah, that's how it goes. But basically, it's just passion for what I do, because I have no business waking up in the morning, getting a cab to go to Mira ground from Chalala to go and watch a training session. Those are things that I do, and people don't know what happens. They'll come and insult you tomorrow because you're telling them there's a reason why this is happening, because they think, no, you are defending an association or defending a person. But it's because you interact with these players, you go to these training sessions. I've reached a level where if the under 17 women national team is in camp and they train for 3 days, I don't show up. Coach Kaluba Kangwa Uko, brother, where are you? You haven't seen your children. Like that's how it is, because I'm always at these training sessions. I interact with these girls. They'll literally wait to see me, and then when I see them, they'll be like, "Take pictures of us. Take pictures. Go and post on Facebook." We want people to see that we are the national team and things like. They're just excited to play football. That's the one thing I love about women's football. They're just excited to play football.
Now, this is what my issue is, Mr. Aaron. The players are excited when they're with you. You do all the publicity for these players, but I'm wondering now, Mr. Aaron, why are you not in Morocco?
Basically because I don't work for the Football Association of Zambia. In as much as I would love to be there with the girls. I was watching the video when they were taking a walk. I was getting emotional because I don't know, but certain things excite me. I was feeling like I was supposed to be here with you girls. Like it's so happy to interact with them. They make me so happy. But at the end of the day, it's just unless the Football Association of Zambia just says, okay, you can go or something, or I organize my own trip. It's not necessarily like guaranteed because I do this that they're supposed to take me. That's why a lot of people lose it, because people start believing they deserve certain things, but at the end of the day, you put in the work because you have a passion for something. So the Football Association of Zambia has its own media team, so they will outsource when they feel like it's necessary. So they felt the people were supposed to go at this and this, so those people went. And people feel like sometimes I feel people will text me and why are you not in Morocco? Are you upset or what? And I will laugh, because at the end of the day, I know the people who've gone to Morocco and were actually chatting on the sideline. I'm like, oh, I need this and this and this and this. Can you do this and this and this for me? And then I'll be like, oh, On that one, there's this and this. If I know there's something, I know that they might have skipped them, I will quickly remind, oh, there's this and this and this and this. Because maybe I might be familiar with a certain player more than maybe the person who's gone. So I'll text, okay, on this player, don't forget that there's this and this and this. So that for me, what's out there, whosoever goes, we need to make sure that we get the full publicity. So I always work with whoever is there to make sure that the girls get the publicity that they deserve, and everybody knows what they are doing. That's basically what makes me happy. So I think maybe starting next week, we'll be doing profiles for all the players who are in that squad with my boy Moses Pedro Manza on Zamfoot, so that to make sure that people know each and every player, because most people may not know these players. So that's what we'll be trying to do in the next few days.
All right, Mr. Aaron. In recent years, the women's national team has been doing very well. Unfortunately, people are still upset that the men's national team has not been going to the AFCON, has not been doing well. I thought maybe the women's team should be our should maybe relieve us of the pain.
Well, personally, when the women's do well, I'm very happy. But traditionally, the men's team has always been the flagship of whatever football association. So when they don't do well, it's normal that people get emotional and get upset and whatnot. So I think people are not looking for a substitute per se. They want their men's team to qualify because it's what they have more like grown up knowing that this is the flagship of the association. So that's what they're waiting for. They want the team to qualify to the AFCO and do well and whatnot. So which is good, but I think for me, what I would ask for is not necessarily to substitute the two, but to also give the women's national team the same importance and the same pedigree, so that they also do well and the men's team does well, so that we just have like an equivalent or something similar, like in terms of importance. We just put importance on both sides, because I know the men's football will always take precedence, but also we need to give the women the same, the similar or same importance. But I understand where they're coming from. Missing AFCON 3 times is not easy for all of us. Want to see the team at AFCON, and it's unfortunate that players like Patson Daka, Enoch Mop have never been to an Africa Cup of Nations. So as Krings and the like. So hopefully we can qualify this time around.
Yeah, sure. Now we've been talking about the team is in Morocco. The team is in Morocco. There are people that are not followers of the women's football. So why is our national team in Morocco, Aaron?
Okay, the women's national team are in Morocco because they qualified to the 2022 Africa Women's Cup of Nations, which will take place in Morocco between 2nd and I think 17 or something July. No, the final, I've forgotten the last day, but you start on the 2nd of July. And then they are in Group B alongside Cameroon, Tunisia, and Togo. Yeah, so this is their third appearance since it was officially recognized by the confederation that it's a tournament, because initially it started, I think, around 1991. Initially, it was just a way to qualify to the World Cup, so they were just home and away ties. It was never a biannual event like it is now, where it takes place every 2 years. It was just an event where it was more basically, I think, every year before a World Cup. That's when it was. That's how it was known to be. So, but now it's a biannual event. So for the last two tournaments we qualified to, 2014 and 2018. 2014 we only drew one game, I think, with Cote d'Ivoire. Then 2018 we were in the same group as the eventual winners Nigeria, the runners-up South Africa, and the other two. There have only been two winners of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations. Nigeria have won it around 8-9 times, and then Equatorial Guinea 2 times. So we were in the same group with Nigeria, who were the defending champions. We were in the same group with having won it in 2016 with South Africa, who are COSAFA giants, and of course Equatorial Guinea, 2-time former champions. So now we finished the group with 4 points. We recorded our first win, which is our biggest win. We beat Equatorial Guinea 5-0. Grace Chanda opened the scores with a beautiful free kick. Irene Lungu scored a brilliant free kick. Then Retro Kundaranji took over the show with 2 goals, and Mary Makapira scored a penalty, and it was done for Equatorial Guinea. We went on to lose 4-0 to Nigeria, and then we drew 1-1 with South Africa. Rachel Kundananjo opened the scores, but a goal was cancelled out by Tembi Gatrana Christina. So that's how we were knocked out. South Africa at 6 points. Well, Nigeria finished. South Africa, I think, at 7 or 6 points. That's 7 points. Well, Nigeria finished with 6, I think. And then the 2 went on to meet in the final, where Nigeria won on post-match penalties. So that's a bit of history on our qualification to the Africa Cup of Nations. But we played in the World Cup qualifiers before it became an official tournament in 1995. That was the first group ever, but we were knocked out in the first round by South Africa. They beat us on Mandawi. I think it ended 6-2 on aggregate or something like that.
All right. Thanks very much. So you say the tournament is starting on the 2nd of July. So
yes.
Why has the team arrived in Morocco so early?
Well, we are in Morocco because they want to prepare for the tournament. So they're having a camp in Morocco. They decided on Morocco so that they can acclimatize to the weather, and of course be ready for the tournament. So they're in Morocco for that, and they will have a friendly tomorrow. Their first friendly match tomorrow against the Morocco women's national team. So we'll start our preparations with an important friend against Morocco tomorrow, the hosts.
All right. If you're joining us, we are talking about women's football, and I'm joined by Aaron Mubanga Jr. Now, we're just confirming that the national team is in Morocco, and just to give you of what is happening in the camp and what was happening today during the day in Morocco, let's watch these clips. Then we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you for your support.
Natasha Manyangwe.
Hello. Come on, you're winning. What am I going to say? Because you're with us here.
Okay, sisi wanalisanga inaika because nafikirire from game shatu nene ko nafikirire from game but boko na isangire ne mwino ko na expect pia na reach the manage kuikuinga game no kubasanga upo bali so ife bwino ko nde umfana bwino. Okay, kai mwisho kama Africans vibe friend do like inga mwa bana kuma kwa team fan so ndio kwa bwino because ndio mna kwa team kumnganga so ndio kwa bwino like no potential communicate na leo ndio kwa que torifika bwino walienda bwino na tutosha so today ya training ndio na trainer tushana prepare for tomorrow we are really much late give me my look at that so prepare kuma games like 14 days ukamaliza minute so yanakuwa kuisha kumonanga tuliready that's why tuletwa posa kwa tuletwa baridi team spirit ife bwino like uko na feel kuna abasangire kana richerwa kwa team spirit ife bwino hirai ndio mfamini sana kubasanga abantu bali bali abansanza sana target yangu kuna tournament kwa fiti kwa target yangu no kuambisha pale ni mimi kwa club kufuma kwa timu target yangu like tournament like in okay never school kwa shafindi so target yangu kufuma top school kubombeshana sio top school best player palifi kile na bombesha ama kwa na guys we support the na support every day and every time so to remember support kulinga kionse klasika kufirimu abana ndio bafwe kulinga ngaba kutafuisha support the moment support the mona morao ile hapa. Thank you very much.
Alright, if you're joining us, you're watching Ubuntu Sports here on Ubuntu channel. We come live every Friday talking about Zambian sports. And today we're talking about women's football with Aaron Mubanga. Mr. Aaron, Grace was saying one of his targets is to make sure that the team qualifies to the World Cup. Now, for the team to qualify to the World Cup, what do they need to do? In which position do they finish?
They just need to reach the semi-finals and then they have qualified to the World Cup. So get out of the group and win your quarter-final game. You are through toward the World Cup. So they need to win at they need to win 4 games. So they can win 3 of those and draw one. The draw should be in the group. So you draw one in the group, maybe draw with Cameroon, beat Togo and Tunisia, you are through to the quarterfinals. Beat whoever they give in the quarterfinals, you've qualified to the World Cup.
Right.
Sounds easy, but it's going to be hard.
Indeed. You saw the videos that we played. You saw the clips that we played. These were clips from Faz TV. From the facial expressions, from the mood in the camp. How do you rate the girls? Are they ready? Or maybe
they've been preparing. They're ready, but there's still a lot of work to do. But I think they're ready. They've been preparing locally and now they're in Morocco, excited. A lot of young players in that squad also. Like there's Natasha Nanyangwe making a first senior tournament, Esther Gelo Banda making a first senior tournament, Maweta Chilenga, another graduate from the under-17 making a first tournament, Evelyn Susan Katongo making a second senior tournament, but a first AFCON. She's a graduate from the under-20. She made her debut at the Olympics. Esther Siamfuko, a graduate from the under-17 who made a name at the Olympics as the youngest player at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. They're 16 years of age, but she's making a second senior tournament and the first Africa Cup of Nations. So youthful side with a bit of experience in the likes of Misozi Zuru. Misozi has been around for over a decade now. There is Barbara Banda, who's been around for some time. She was part of the team that went to the 2014 World Cup as under-17 with Eze Onari, Mary Wirombe Mulai, who else in that team? Martha Tembo. Irene Javirungu was the captain of the side by then. So those are some of the players who come from that team that went to Costa Rica in 2014.
All right. So the squad is out. We know the players in camp. So who are the key players in this squad?
Obviously, the skipper Barbara Banda, arguably one of, if not the best footballer in Africa by far. Gracie Chanda, the machine. This girl has some crazy numbers behind her. She's the player that scored 86 goals in 26 games in the Copper Belt First Women's League in 2018. That's a ridiculous number of goals in such a little number of games. 86 in 26 games. You can't even make that up. She's in 2020 during the qualifiers for the Olympics. She scored 8 goals. She was the top scorer of the Olympics qualification in Africa. In 2021, she was the top scorer of the First Women's League with 32 goals in because she was supposed to play how many games? There were many teams. There were, I think, 14 teams in the initial league. So she was supposed to play around 26 games, but she missed the first, I think, 5. So she played around 20 games and she scored around 32 goals. So she averaged at least, I think, 1.5 goals per game. So that's how brilliant she is. And she's now in Kazakhstan, where in 3-4 games she's already scored 10 goals. That's how this Grace Chanda is. So that's another key player. Misozi Zulu, so much experience, CR7. Lushomo Mwemba at the back, brilliant player, another key player. Of course, Margaret Berem at right back, Martha Tembo at left back. Another important player in midfield is Irene Lungu. And obviously, she might be another player who may be young, but it's going to be very key for us is Evelyn Susan Katongo. The brilliance of that kid is out of this world. I'm waiting for people to see what she's able to do. I saw that kid 3-4 years ago in Kanyama, and ever since then I thought the world have found the next biggest thing, because in one game she convinced me that I've never seen anybody play football the way she does. She makes it look so easy, but playing football, for those who've tried it, is very hard. But she makes it look like anybody can do it. But we all know that not everybody can do that. She is a special kid, and obviously she's special, but she's also filling in some of the biggest shoes in that women's national team, Mary Makapira. That girl was brilliant. That girl was a magician. Would literally watch a game. I remember watching a cup game between Red Arrows and Green Buffaloes. In the first half, she was literally playing on the pitch like she didn't want to play. I was standing along the line like she would come, because me and her were very close. She would come to line, and then she would be talking to me. She would be like, boy, since Nanocha game, then I will see. And then she goes on the pitch, but she's on the pitch like she was like we were that close. Like she was just like, since Nanocha game, then I will see, boy. She go back, she plays. The first half ended, the coaches were shouting on the pitch. If you've ever watched Green Buffalo Women's Football Club, Coach Alubono is always talking. So when you make a mistake, he's always shouting. So he was always shouting, Irene. And then Coach Bit, I remember Coach Bit said, Irene, Mary, Nanga, why I'm so very ground? Mambo shimika mwaviri. Tikuchose mwendamka shimika. Like they were just like they were relaxed and whatnot. In the second half, Mary gave 3 passes. Just 3 special passes. All of them ended up in the back of the net. Rachel Natura scored 2, Melan scored 1. One was an offside, 2 were goals, and that's how the match ended. That's how special that girl is. But she's sick and she can't be part of the squad. In steps Ivarine Susan Katongo, another special kid. But of course, she's a young player, so she has room to make mistakes and improve. But yeah, we have quite a very good, strong squad, but it could be better. But due to a number of reasons, we couldn't have some of our key players. Like I think we were missing. about 5 or 6 who could have added to that squad. So that's how strong our team is overall. But due to various reasons, some players couldn't make it. But yeah, that's what we have, and it looks like a strong squad again.
All right. So you said for the team to qualify to the World Cup, to Women's World Cup, they need to reach the semi-finals, and of course, for them to win to reach the semi-finals, they need to be winning games, Mr. Aaron. Now, first just announced the winning bonuses for these lads. Were you happy with them? Just explain to us. Are these equal to what they give to the men's national team?
This is a very good development that we've seen from the Football Association of Zambia. We are coming from a very poor background for women's football where they would just get transport refund, which was very small and very unfortunate. The men's team, until the last game, were on 3,500 winning bonus US dollars, which is what the girls will be getting the quarterfinals. In the group, yes, they'll be getting $3,000, which is also huge money. Nowhere in the world the men, especially for the US, which started recently, nowhere in the world do women and men get the same money. So that's how good this situation is for us. We are getting to a level where we are almost getting to where men's teams get. Yes, the men's have been improved to 5,000 US dollars. So which is what the women may get if they reach the final. That's what if they win the final, that's what they will get for that win, $5,000 each, which is what men get for every game now, starting with the Comoros game. But before that, they were getting 3,500. So you see, and the women will start at 300 per group, 3,000 per group, 3,500 for quarter, 4,000 for semi. So if they reach the final and they reach the final, they'll get 4,000. If they win the final, they'll get 5,000.
Some good development there, and I'm sure the girls should be smiling, Tara.
Yes, they are happy. This is big motivation for them, and hopefully they get some good wins and they get some money and invest. They come from very humble backgrounds, and I'll be happy for them if they get some good money from these tournaments.
Now, there are some notable absentees in the team. One of them is Kundananji. I think that from the start you said it. The whole Facebook was more like shut down. Everything was just about Kundananji. People went on Faz's page trying to say don't explain anything, because Faz has to bring out a memo to like explain to why the reasons some of the players were dropped. Was that satisfactory for you? Are you okay? And who, apart from Kundananji, who else is a notable absentee from that team?
Apart from Kundananji, there is Echo Nachula, there is Eren Mubanga, there is Msole Ngambo Petronella, and of course Priska Chirufia. Then there is Roda Chireshe, of course Mary Makapira Osik, and obviously also I think Judy. But yeah, so those are some of the names of the players that are not there. The statement satisfactory to me? Yes, because I know the actual reasons behind everyone's dropping, everyone's not making it. I know all of them. Yeah, I'm privileged to know those reasons, but most of them not for the public to consume. So that's where the trick is. So the Football Association of Zambia found themselves in a tricky situation where they couldn't specify some of the reasons. So I'm not saying some player is pregnant or who is pregnant, but let's say, for example, somebody is pregnant. It's not for the Football Association of Zambia to come on Facebook and tell Uchetnam Dropera Dina Mimba. You see? Yeah. So yes. What they were giving the most general reasons because everyone, there are players who are dropped because of form, there are players who are dropped because of regulations and medical conditions, there are players like Meru's sick, so there is that. So and then there are those who are dropped because of who asked because of commitments and whatnot, which were serious and they couldn't manage to go. So those are things that they explained, but people wanted more. and unfortunately, that's the best they could do. So I felt the statement was very genius actually, because it gave a general view. Because at the end of the day, all they are doing is protecting the players, but people still want more. But it's funny. But the funny part which came into me for me was like, you find that bloggers and journalists, some of them would actually come on Facebook and argue, hey, no, why have they dropped this play? But you have access. For a fan, I agree. I expect a fan to go that way because they don't know. For a person who is in the media and has access to the team, go to the training session. Coach Bruce Map is an approachable person. They would actually know all these reasons, the actual reasons behind all those generic reasons they gave, and they couldn't have come out like that. But it's funny how people just want to come up when you've never been to one training session, when you have access to that. Because when you're a media person, you have access to a lot more than what fans have. So you have the privilege to go and see them in training, to talk to these coaches. So you're able to know more than what the fans know. So for you to come on social media and be making all these accusations and making all these blunt statements, I laughed. I'm like, really? Go to the training session. Go and see these girls. Like, don't just come here to act like you care about men's football. No, care about it and go and find out the actual reasons. You wouldn't be speaking the same way you're speaking if you knew what I know. Those are some of the things that sometimes hate me, because you have this privilege to know more than a fan. For a fan, I couldn't fault anybody for asking those questions because they don't have access to the team. Fans are not allowed to go to a training session. Fans are not allowed to interview coaches and whatnot. So they don't know what's going on. But for a person who has a privilege to go there and find out. Don't just come on Facebook and act like you care about the team. No, go there and find out. That's my plea to these people. You don't just come on Facebook and act like you care. No, care and go and find out.
All right. So if you're joining us, this is Ubuntu Sports, and we're talking about the women's football, and specifically we're looking at the national team, which is in Morocco, preparing for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, which is starting on the 2nd of July. Now, we've shared a link with you in the comment box. You can join this conversation. You can also type your questions, and we are going to take them on this program. Mr. Aaron, you said the tournament is starting on the 2nd of July. Zambia is not playing on the 2nd. They should be playing on the 3rd or 4th. Who is the first opponent for Zambia?
Cameroon.
And how do you rate that game? Mr. Aaron?
It's a very tricky game.
And teams have got good women's national teams.
Cameroon, yes, have got a very good team. We beat them in the final of the qualifiers on away goals rule, because we scored 2 goals away. We lost 3-2 there, and we beat them 2-1 here. They have a very good team, and Gabriel Ongene, Nchuti Ajara, brilliant players. It's going to be a very tricky game against Zambia, but we need to be cautious. We need to be serious. We need to put in 110% in this game. Then we need to make use of all our chances. All our chances that we have, we need to use them. So the players need to know that it's an important game, and especially that it's an opening game. We need to win that game so that we prepare ourselves for what comes next. I think beat Cameroon and then beat either Togo, Tunisia. We are through to the quarterfinals, and then we can negotiate our way into the semifinals and qualify the World Cup. Even if we come out at the semifinal stage, I don't care much because we would have already qualified to the World Cup. For me, that's the target now. We need to go to the World Cup.
How important is this game to market our national team players, those who are in the squad?
I think everything has been done. This is their chance to sell themselves. I think majority of those players in that entire squad, not just the starting lineup, but in that entire squad, don't deserve to be in Zambia. They need to go out to Europe and whatnot. They are very good players, but they need to market themselves. They need to play their hearts out. They need to play. They need to show that they're very good players, so that teams will come asking for them and buy these players. So it will be interesting to see what they do. But I expect some good performances from our players. And the first tomorrow against Morocco with a friend at 21 hours Zambian time. So around this time, we'll be watching the Copa Queens. I hope there'll be a link for us to watch that game. I can't miss such a game.
Uh, I can tell you, Ubuntu is on the lookout for also want to uh, share something with you. We're trying to get a feed. I hope we'll find that so that we can broadcast the games on this channel. Now, Mr. Aaron, one of the things that we saw in Zambia, the men's national team was preparing for the qualifiers with Ivory Coast. We saw an appointment of an assistant just to make sure that the technical team is ready. How rich is our technical team in terms of the women's football? Are you satisfied with it? Are you okay with it? Is it ready for?
Yeah, just a bit. Let's make a move. My battery is low. Let me just make a move. Just a minute.
All right. All right. So if you are joining us, this is Ubuntu Sports, and we are talking about the women's football. I'm joined by Aaron Mubanga. Now, on this program, we're talking about Zambia's chances of also winning the AFCON. Also, we are rating the players. So one thing that Aaron was talking about is that we've got good players in the squad. There was an outcry of why some of the players are not included in the team. I think Mr. Aaron has clarified that, and I hope it was clear. Mr. Aaron, before you went out, I had asked you a question of the technical bench for the women's national team. Is it rich? Is it satisfactory? Can they do miracles for us? Can they bring that AFCON here?
I have reservations here and there, but they're quite a good technical bench. They've done quite good for us since Coach Bruce came in. The team has been to AFCON Olympics and another AFCON, so he's done well. He's assisted by Coach Florence Teresa from Zanaco Women's Football.
Hi, Aaron, are you there?
Club, there's Coach Charity. Those are the coaches that are there in terms of assistant coaches.
All right. There's a question here in the comment box, and it's saying, how much are the women paid compared to the men? In some nations, they pay them equally.
There is no nation which pays women and men equally. The only nation that started that is the United States of America, and we are not the same as the United States of America. There is, yes, we pay. There is no nation that pays the same for women's and men's. Let's not be misled. It's only the US, and that was done after some court battles and whatnot. But like I've explained, the men were at 3,500 for winning bonuses, and then they have
that 3,500 is it dollars? Is it kwacha, Mr.
3,500 US dollars, and then they have been moved to 5,000 US dollars. The women have they never had a structure, so they could only be paid after they do something. They promised this, and now the structure is for the group games. They'll get 3,000 each per game. If they win against Cameroon, they get 3,000 US dollars each. They beat Togo, they get 3,000 US dollars each. If they beat Tunisia, same. And then quarterfinal, if they win, they get $3,500 each. If they win the semifinal, they get 3,000. They get 4,000. They get 4,000, and then the final it's 5,000 US dollars, the same as men get for every game. Yes, exactly what James has said. There is no nation in the world apart from the US which only started like this year. This is when they won the court battle. Like I think just maybe last month or the month before, that's when they won that court battle. They were fighting all around to get it done. They were in battles for years. This is the only time that the men and women getting the same. And that's because the US men's national team doesn't do anything. The women have won the World Cup, they have won the Olympics, so they are the leg to stand on for them to ask for that. It was expected, but we can't also say we can't also. I mean, we can't reduce what the women's national team has been doing. The men's national team has not qualified to AFCON for 3 consecutive tournaments. The women have been there 2 times in the last. They've been there. They were there the last time it was held. The 2021 was cancelled, so they could have been there again. And then they've been to the Olympics. The last time the men's team went to the Olympics was 1998. Karusha was scoring that famous hat-trick against Italy in that famous 4-1 win. So that's what's there. So on the ground, those are the bonuses that are there, the allowances that the women have been promised. They were treated to a send-off dinner by the government through the Ministry of Sports at Southern Sun Hotel. I was privileged to attend that event. Nadia could deny never join us for future. So, but yeah, they were treated to a dinner, and the Minister of Sport was represented by the PS because he was engaged with some other issues.
All right. Now I've got people that want to join us. Let's have Lawrence, my technical director. Let's have Lawrence to give his comment or ask a question. Lawrence, good evening. Hi, Lawrence. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, Reuben.
Evening. You can ask a question or give a comment over the women's foot point.
I just would like you guys to kindly just shed more light on concerning the squad that has gone for the that has been selected for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Looking at the big names that we have that have been left behind. And the comments that have come from some sections, especially from those that have been left behind, how do you look at the selection process in all, and what is the best direction and the best way of airing out grievances in this case for those who have been left out in this case?
All right, thank you very much. We'll tackle that question, please. Mr. Aaron, take note. I also have got Lance on the call. Good evening, Lance.
Hi, good evening, Reuben, and good evening, Aaron.
Good evening, man.
You can go
Okay,
ahead to
so
ask the question
yeah,
or give a comment.
definitely. Mine is I don't know if it's a question or a contribution. The women national team has been performing even before even when they have not been receiving these game allowances or allowances from FAS or the government. Now that they have been promised what they have been promised, and with the takeaway home that they went with that money they were given when they were traveling to Morocco, should money be the factor, the deciding factor in the kind of play that they will engage themselves into as they take part in this AWICON tournament in Morocco? Should money be the deciding factor, or they should continue with the same way that they have been performing, and then maybe money can come in later? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lance. Aaron, the two questions. The first one is again the outcry over the squad. How do the coach select? What criteria do they use in selecting these players in the squad?
First and foremost, we could have a bias somewhere where maybe somehow they picked a player that wasn't as good as the other player. It's a possibility. But on the biggest question on the key players that have been left, they all have reasons behind why they were left. I know those reasons. That's why I keep telling people. The same way Faz wrote that memo. for those players, they were left out because of those reasons. They can't participate for this tournament. Maybe the next one. It's done for them. Then there were other players who were dropped. Maybe some of those, maybe, but we are not there in training. We don't know how they were playing in training. There's also that area. National team places are not guaranteed, no matter how good you are at club level. If you're doing rubbish in training, you're not going anywhere. With the team, the coach will say no, you're not going anywhere. Remain. That's what happens, and that's just a fact. But for these players, most of them, they were supposed to go, but because of a few reasons that were generally explained by FAS, they can't make it to the tournament. So there was no bias for those players. For the others, I am not too sure because the reasons are just form. So when it comes to form, you can just maybe you don't like the player or not. But for these key players, the reasons are very genuine. Some are medical, some are personal, some are what. So that's why they were left, and there is no bias towards all of those. On airing grievances, I think the problem with the Kundananji situation was that I think the medical team should have done better, and the technical bench, sorry, should have done better in terms of explaining the situation with the player. I think just to make them understand what was going on. And,
not
I
not to
think that
cut
was
you
where,
not to cut you
yeah,
short, Aaron. Maybe the
yeah.
Kundananji situation was because there was a posting. She posted something on.
Yes, I know. I saw all those posts, and when she posted that, I was actually watching a training session for the women's national team at Edwin Imboila Stadium. I was like, oh shit, now this, and I was talking to the coach like, see, you need to talk to Kundananji. You need to calm her down and explain the situation to her. So I understand as a player, she wants to go to the tournament, and she loves to play, and that's why she's emotional. There was just I think there was miscommunication somewhere, and I hope everything that needs to be resolved, just a minor issue that needs to be resolved for her, and then she can be able to play the next tournament. So those are the issues that are there. Otherwise, I think on communication, I think that's where the communication is. But even for the player, when you're grieved, the only people who can explain to you why you've been left are your coaches, because they are the people who've left you. So the coming out on social media, I think, was a bit outside. But she's a player, so she got emotional. I understand why she was doing what she was doing. But that fueled the situation with the fans who were like, no. Even the player doesn't understand. Those Mapes is corrupt. I was just laughing. I'm like, hey, it's hard being a coach. It's hard. But yeah,
Yeah,
there are the reasons. There are actually varied reasons why players were left out. So it's difficult to explain, but there are varied reasons why they were left out. And I hope going forward, if there's another case like that, the technical bench and the medical properly explain what's going on with the players to them, so that they don't come out like that because they don't understand what's going on.
that's clear, Mr. Aaron. Then the second question from Lance was: should money be a dominant factor for them to perform very well in this tournament?
Well, I think basically they've been playing for passion. I think that shouldn't change. Money should just be extra motivation. And of course, there is a place at the World Cup. It should be another motivation. And the fact that their teams will be watching these European teams, teams from maybe South America, teams from Asia, big teams who can pay you big dollar, who will be watching top dollar, who will be watching these games, who could sign you. So you need to perform. So you help the team perform well, get to the World Cup, a bigger platform. There's money involved. There's also a possibility of you getting signed by another club. So there's a lot of motivation for them. They have everything to play for, so they need to perform and show who they are and why they are there at the national team.
All right. Now we need to summarize this. But before we go, who should be the captain for this team? Should we give it back to Barbara Banda, or should we go for Misozi Zulu, or maybe Grace Chanda? Who do you think should be the skipper for this squad?
The captain of the team is Barbara Banda. Grace was only captaining the side because Barbara was not around at the time. So Kosafa, she couldn't play. So that's why Grace was. Whenever Barbara comes back, armband straight goes back to Barbara. So Barbara is the captain. Grace is like the third or fourth vice captain. I don't know how the structure's changed now. Misos was the vice because they changed. Misos was the captain, Barbara vice, but they changed Barbara captain, Misos vice, and then third was Nadi, and then fourth was Grace. So I don't know, maybe the orders again changed somewhere there, but Barbara remains the captain of the side.
Mr. Aaron, the team is in Morocco. What's your plea to the fans?
Keep supporting the team, give them the support they need. Just throw positive energy at them. They need your support, and they'll make us proud. So let's just keep supporting them. Whatever happens, they are our girls. We need to cheer for them and give them the support they deserve.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, Mr. Aaron. We'll be calling again for you to come and help us with what is happening with the women concerning women's football here in Zambia, and hope to see you soon. Now, this has been the presentation of Ubuntu Sports here on Ubuntu channel. We come every Friday evening to talk about nothing but sports here in Zambia. See you next week, and don't forget, tomorrow we are coming back with my point of view. Good night and God bless.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.